again, friends, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be finally finishing up this illustration. Now, I've been working on and off with this piece for a while. This is the original sketch that I showed you guys in a video like several months ago. And then I also had the time lapse of part of the coloring process for the background of my Kara AI video. And I'm going to show you guys some of that in this video too. So I started out just sort of coloring really generally. I had a basic color palette that I was going off of. I wanted, greens and blues, and I wanted to keep the characters very warm. And here at this point in the illustration, it's funny to look back on it and see where I was like mentally with this, because at this point I was like, I'm getting really close to finishing. And looking at it now, it's just like, wow, I'm so glad I didn't stop. I mean, I'm not happy that it took me several months to actually finish this piece, but I'm really glad that I did not leave it where it was. And that's what's kind of hard with digital illustration, because you can literally work on a piece forever. And you'll always have the colors you need, the textures, the ability to like take your time improving something, but you'll never actually finish it. And so I think it's easy to trigger your artist perfectionism more with digital illustration and like just keep working and working and working instead of actually like moving on. Like I said, I'm happy with the fact that I did keep working on it. It's just maybe in the future I should be less of a perfectionist and try to push through that, so I actually make more than like one piece in like 8 months. And this isn't the only piece of art I worked on this year. It's just a piece that probably shouldn't have taken that long. So this is my little setup here that I have with my little iPad. This is probably going to be my setup for my YouTube videos and digital illustration for the foreseeable future. So here I'm just cleaning up a little bit of my line work. I do have my line art layer set to multiply, and sometimes when that crosses over some darker areas, it mixes the colors. And I don't really know a better way of stopping that, aside from going in and meticulously erasing those darker colors underneath. We'll figure out another way to do that maybe. If anyone has suggestions, let me know. And I'm obviously working in Procreate. I have been working digitally in Procreate since like 2021 when I got my iPad. Before that, I was just working in Photoshop. And I mean, when I say that, I say it lightly because I honestly didn't do a whole lot of digital illustration, even in college. And that's probably a longer story than I have time for in this video, because this video isn't supposed to be super long. But yeah, I am using Procreate, and what I do is basically I'll do my illustration here in Procreate. I'll set the profile to RGB. And then I will take this file into Photoshop after I'm done, and I will adjust the colors that way. Just because you'll see when I do this here later, how much brighter and saturated the colors in Procreate are, so I usually like to adjust them in Photoshop after. So yeah, at this point, I'm really happy with the way it's coming out. I'm sort of just working on final details here and there. And you'll notice that I did work on the dragon a lot during my process. And then I completely wiped all that progress. And what happened was that when I zoomed out, I kind of felt like I wanted the dragon to pop even more. And so I think adding all that texture really blended him into the background more than I wanted to. And so I basically just cut it all back and kept it very minimal with the shading. Alright, so we are in Photoshop now, and I went ahead and did a few adjustments because I wanted to play around with the color a bit. This one on the far left is actually the Procreate one that I adjusted a little bit of the contrast, but the colors are pretty much all the same from what was transferred over from Procreate. And then I have my middle one, which has more of a warm tone adjustment. And then the one on the far right, which is kind of like a happy medium between the two, that I'm probably honestly going to go with as my final for this piece. But I don't know, I might play around with it, go back and forth. Y'all let me know what you like best of these three. Do you like the fully saturated one from Procreate? Or do you like more of this warm toned green one, or the happy medium on the far right? Let me know. So something everyone should be doing with their illustrations is checking the values. So you can set your illustration to grayscale and look at the contrast and see the range of values you have from light to dark. And the better the range, the better your illustration and the contrast is. So yeah, if you do that, you're definitely checking a box in making your illustrations better. So highly recommend doing that. And throughout the piece, don't just wait till the end. I probably could have done better with the contrast, but there was a point where I was like, I am fine with it not being like super contrasted in some areas. And I also just wanted this piece to finally be done. So when I did see that it wasn't perfect, I was like, well, there it is. That's fine. We're done with this piece. But yeah, check your grayscales and make sure you have a good range of values. But yeah, that is all I have for this video, guys. I'm sorry this is kind of a random illustration video. I haven't done a lot of digital work on my channel, at least not in a while. And so I decided that this would be a nice little comeback for my digital work, and I definitely want to do more. But that pretty much wraps it up for this video. I did want to do a part of the video where I actually printed out the illustration and showed you guys that process as well, but I ran out of time. I am driving back to Texas the day after tomorrow, so I don't have time to actually do that properly. So that'll just have to be for my next video in January. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me this year in 2024. I am so excited for the next year and all the videos I'm going to make, including the children's book illustration series, which, by the way, if you guys have any questions about how to illustrate a children's book or that process in general, please leave those questions in the comment section. I would love to be able to do a Q&A as part of the series. So yeah, let me know. And again, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting me, and I will see you guys next year. Bye!